Hello Virgo, welcome to your weekly tarot reading. This is Rooted Souls Tarot. I'm Lisa and this is your weekly reading. So I hope all is well with you this week. I've got these lovely cards here, these lovely herbiary cards. Again, I thought I'd use these and find you a couple, see what's happening with you. And then I've dug out the Woodland Wardens deck. So we'll have one of those as well, and then we'll dive into the tarot and see how it all ties together. So, bit of a shuffle. Check out what's happening in Virgo's world this week. Okay, right, we have, distill yourself. And Starflower, finding grace. Okay, this week very much feels like, for a lot of the readings I've done already, it's all about looking after yourself, and I don't think you are any different, Virgo. Distill yourself. I think it's all about not spreading yourself about too thinly this week. It's about not overburdening yourself, working yourself, stretching yourself out too thinly so that everyone wants a little bit of a piece of you and you're giving it to them. So I think it's all about working smarter, not harder, maybe this week. If you look at that lovely card there, it's thyme is the herb with that. And it's got a little bit of a labyrinth in there, and obviously labyrinths, you know, we go in there, don't we, and some of them are dead ends, and some of them are, you know, take us to the end. And for me this week feels very much about working smarter, not harder. Maybe having a bit of a strategy to get out the labyrinth rather than just throwing yourself at it and wasting energy going down all these dead ends. It's about focusing in on the things that are important, I think, for you this week, Virgo, and in using minimal energy to get the job done. We've got finding grace here. And this card, I don't know whether I've spoken to you about this card before. I used to have a holistic healing business. I'm a Reiki master, I'm a crystal therapist, and Starflower was the name of my business. And also peacock feathers are a symbol of healing, for me certainly, I think for some cultures as well. So this card says to me that there's some healing that needs to be done. More than anything, actually, some self-care, because my business was called Starflower Self-Care. And I think this is about you looking after yourself and preserving your energy. You know, using your energy wisely, taking care of yourself, making sure you're not overdoing things so that you're not potentially burning out. Let's see what our Woodland Wardens card has to say. Let's have one of these. Pick that. No, I don't want that one. We'll have that one. There. The Spider and Passion Flower, creative ingenuity. So again, it's about being smart. It's about being creative, about working smarter, not harder, to get to the job done. I mean, the spider's only tiny. He builds this amazing web to catch his prey. He doesn't have to work. The prey flies in and it's there. He just has to go and scoop it up, doesn't he? And this is all about you this week. It's about you know, building your web so that whatever it is that you need to get done comes into that web and it's dealt with efficiently. I think it's about time management, maybe doing things that are easier for you, not overdoing it, not overburdening yourself, not maybe taking on more than you should. And it's about looking after yourself. It's about self-care this week. Self-care week for everybody. Right, let's have a little bit of a look at what the tarot's got to say. Oops, a bit more of a shuffle. Right, what have we got? Six of Swords, the Fool, the Hermit, the Emperor, the Eight of Swords. Right, Six of Swords. It's all about moving into a less stressed mental state, into a more peaceful, more serene, calmer, emotional, mental place. And when things feel less stressful on a mental level, then everything else falls into place, doesn't it? You know, I've been talking a lot about our energy and how we are very holistic. So when our mental energy is out of kilter, out of sorts, then it can often affect us in a physical way. So I think by being in a more peaceful place, in a less stressed kind of mental place, then everything else is going to feel better. You're physically going to feel better, you're spiritually going to feel better, and you're going to be able to be more productive because of that. We've got the Two of Swords there, and we've got Death and Rebirth. I think there's a difficult decision for you this week, and I think it's one that's been lingering around in the background, and I think it's something you're going to feel very torn about. Maybe it's one that's got a very deep emotional connection, it's got a deep root to it, and it's got a tie to an emotional feeling, a way of being maybe for you. But there's choices, and I think these are very much related to your wellness. So maybe it may well be that you are doing something, or you've got an activity or a job or friends that are maybe not the best for your wellness, for your well-being, whether that's mentally, whether that's physically. And I think there's going to be a difficult choice that you're going to have to make. But it's going to bring you a new beginning, because we've got the Death card there. It's an ending. Because with any choice, obviously, if we've got two choices, we pick one, then the other one, it's gone, isn't it? It's ended. So we have a new beginning, but we've also got an ending. So that Death Rebirth card, the decision that you're going to have to take this week for your wellness, for your well-being, is going to bring about an ending of sorts, of something. And, you know, we've got this brand new journey. The Fool is our next card. The Fool is about stepping out, taking a leap of faith, and stepping out into a brand new journey, knowing that the universe has got your back. Do you see the way there? She is just letting herself fall. I love this card, because she's just, you know, she's playing that game where you just let yourself go and trusting that your friend is going to catch you. You know, we used to play that at school or in classes or in team building places. And this is, you know, to demonstrate that the universe will catch you. Sometimes you just need to take that leap of faith. And by moving forwards in that strong, confident way, if you are moving in alignment with what it is that you're meant to be doing, if you're going in the right direction, then the universe, it will catch you. It will catch you anyway. It'll just catch you and shove you on a different path. But I think you just got to trust this week. Trust that everything's going to turn out okay. Have a little bit of faith. We've got the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords, it's about lying, it's about cheating, it's about deceit. Maybe you've been deceiving yourself about something. Let's see what the other card is. Queen of Swords. Maybe it is that you've been deceiving yourself about whether you can, about whether you should, about whether it's the right thing for you to do, setting yourself off on this new journey. But I think, you know, you've not actually been maybe honest with yourself. I think maybe there's been a little bit of an ulterior motive in your head for some reason. I don't know why I think that. But I think maybe you're starting to realise, obviously, taking that leap of faith, you're realising that this is the right path for you, that this is the direction that you're needing to go. And also that, you know, maybe it's something that you've mentally been planning. Or, you know, you've been creating a strategy, maybe a get out clause for whatever it is, the choice that you've needed to make. Maybe you've been sort of envisioning this scenario in your head and having, you know, a little bit of pre-planning with it, but not quite putting it into action. That's what I feel like. And we've got the Queen of Wands there. Queen of Wands, she's not afraid to move forward. She's not afraid to take action. She is extremely powerful. I'll show you that up close because it's my favourite card in the pack. and she is just super powerful. See all that energy in her hand? She's creative, she's abundant, she's confident, she's moving forwards, forwards towards her joys, her passions, the things that she wants to draw towards her in her life. And I think you are moving forwards with that energy behind you this week. Taking that leap of faith, and this, bearing in mind, this is all for your wellness, for your well-being, all of these things. And I think you've been a little bit afraid of taking that leap, of making that decision, of making that choice, and now's the time. This week is your week. Right, we've got the Hermit. So I think there's been a lot of deliberating about this, a lot of figuring stuff out, a lot of introspection about, is this the best thing for me? And, you know, why do I need to do this? Is this the right choice? And just an awful lot of stuff going on the inside. And I think you've gained a lot of insight and a lot of wisdom by doing that. And I think it's going to be helpful for you moving forward, having all that knowledge, having all that information, because you've been typical Virgo, and you've created every different scenario in your head and figured out the whys and wherefores, because that's how we roll, isn't it? I mean, I always say to my partner, I've done an analysis of the situation, of the potential outcomes within sort of 10 seconds of someone asking me something, because that's just how my brain works. And I think that's what you've been doing. I think you've been creating different versions of how this is going to play out, how things are going to work out, and maybe a little bit of overthinking, because it isn't a Virgo reading without that Eight of Swords, is it? So I think there's been this scenario is something that you have been hoping for, but also I think that you have been figuring out the potential outcomes. King of Swords, he sees things clearly, he's spot on, he's analytical, he's clocked it all, he knows what's going on, he's not behind the door when it comes to potential outcomes and seeing things in with clarity. And that's literally you, I think, this week. The Wheel of Fortune, the wheel's starting to shift. I think because you have been putting energy into moving yourself forwards, into figuring out what now, what next. Do I want to, take this chance? I think you've started to shift things forward, and I think more than anything, I think this is fated for you. This is meant to be. This is, the Wheel of Fortune. It's fated. The energy is moving in your favour, and it's moving in your favour because it's in alignment with what you should be doing. And I think things are going to feel easier. I think you're gonna be feeling less like you're moving into a brick wall, rather than just like the energy flowing freely and shoving you along, because it's the direction that you're meant to be going in, basically. We've got the Emperor card here. The Emperor card is about taking control. It's about being in control. It is about maybe being a leader. So whatever it is, whatever project, whatever thing it is that you are moving forward with, you're in charge of it. It's up to you. You can lead in any way that you want to. How's that going to work with you? Which sort of what energy are you gonna assume with your Emperor role? We've got the Empress. Oh, she doesn't want to come. She's on the floor. There, we've got the Emperor and we've got the Empress. So moving forward, being in control in a creative, in a yin kind of way, in an introspective, really deep thinking, deep planning kind of way, and in an actual action, a yang kind of way. Taking action, being powerful, being strong, being decisive. But you are very much in control about what's happening next. You're in charge of your destiny, and you've got that beautiful contrast of the yin and the yang energy moving forwards. That's really lovely. That's really quite strong. We've got the Three of Swords. I think this is a release for you. I think this is a healing situation for you. I think I think there's been something that has been holding you back, something that maybe has been very painful that stopped you from being in this position. Like I say, I think this is something that you have been planning, you've been wanting for yourself for a long time. And I think there's been something holding you back. Something has happened that has literally, you see, well, in the traditional tarot we have like 3 swords through the heart, and it's literally like you have had those swords in for far too long, and now it's time to pull them out. It's time to move forward. It's time to get your mojo back, to get on with whatever it is you're doing, because you can do it. You are amazing, and you are strong, you are powerful, and now is the time, Virgo. Right, 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords, again, it's about overthinking, it's about procrastination, it's about over-analysing. So, like I say, I'm a Virgo. I know all about this card, and we often have that card in our spread. But how's it going to be part of your week this week? Oops, we've got 2 cards. We've got the Devil energy there, the Devil card, which is that lower vibrational energy, that focusing on the negative rather than the positive. So maybe, not quite feeling it by the end of the week, being in a little bit of, having a little bit of a wobble because things are ending. We've got the World card there. It's the end. It's the end of the last cycle. And it's very normal to have a little bit of a wobble when you actually see things shifting, see things changing, and it's the end of a cycle and a beginning of a brand new one. So you can take all of that knowledge, everything that you've learned from the last cycle. Now it's time to move into the next energy. Are you going to fall into the old patterns of behaviour, have a little bit of a wobble and talk yourself out of it? Or are you going to gather yourself together, put your big girl pants on and move forwards and be powerful and strong in that emperor kind of way, the way that you want to, the way that you're being called to? So don't forget that. If you are prone to a little bit of self-sabotage, when things start going well and it all, that's often when it happens, isn't it? When everything's going well and you think, whoa, and like a little bit of fear kicks in and it holds you back, and it gets you into those old repeat patterns of behaviour that just keeps you in that cycle. Now's the time to break that. It's time to face up to that and to release it, to let these 3 swords go out of your heart. It's time to move on. It's time to heal. Self-care, about working smarter, not harder this week, about thinking of ways that you can do things, in the most efficient way for yourself this week, because I think there's an awful lot happening. I think things are really starting to shift for you and you're starting to feel it. And like I say, there's a potential for a little bit of self-implosion, an interior implosion if you're not careful. But you've got some really exciting energy, Virgo, a really powerful, strong new beginning. Are you choosing to take it, or are you going to self-destruct and hide under the table while things happen around you? I don't think you're going to do that. I think you're going to gather yourself together and realise that now's the time. Now's the time for you to move forwards the way that you have been wanting to, the way that you've been planning, the way that you have seen all these different scenarios playing out in your head. This week is the week. So I'm going to leave it at that. If this resonates with you on any level, I'd love to know. Please let me know in the comments what's happening with you. If you'd like to be part of this little community I'm trying to build, please press that subscribe button if you fancy it. It's completely free. And also the notification bell, because it means you won't miss out on any of my future readings. In the meantime, look after yourself. Please try and have a bit of self-care and take care of you. And in the meantime, stay open, stay rooted, stay magical, and I will catch up again with you very, very soon.